Hello everyone, are you ready for another adventure? It's me, Woki, and I'm back with another Fate Grand Order video. What are we going to be talking about today? Well, today we're going to be talking about Dancing Dragon Castle, which is the upcoming event coming to the game. That's going to be today's video. I hope you like it. If you do, feel free to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Tell me what you're looking forward to the most. I know it's a little bit of a weird time because most people are likely just excited for anniversary, and if they're not excited for anniversary, they're likely excited for summer. But I'm excited for this event, if only because I want to learn more about the front-facing characters here. All I know about them is that they're deep-cut type moon references, which I remember hearing about that 2 years ago, and I said, man, that's really cool that they found someone that's that obscure for this specific event. But it also results in me knowing absolutely nothing about them. So I'm kind of looking forward to seeing the story event and learning a little bit more about them. Though it is also funny to think about, as I don't know how much of it is actually them and versus the servant that they are representing. I guess that's something else I'll look forward to learning about. Anyway, let's begin, shall we? So, Dancing Dragon Castle, when does it start? Well, we'll just go over here real quick because it should start on the 11th. So get ready for this long spiel as I try and explain it. So, we will have a stream on the 11th where they'll be talking about the event itself. And then 3 hours from then, which will be at 9 p.m. PDT, the game will go into maintenance. And then 4 hours after that, the game should hopefully exit maintenance. And then when it exits maintenance, that's when the event will just be available. So depending on your time zone, the event either starts on the 11th or it starts on the 12th. For me, it starts on the 12th because it goes into 9 p.m. and then by the time it exits it's 1 a.m. and then the event starts. So I technically started on the 12th. But again, depending on your time zone, it will be either the 11th or the 12th. If you want to try and figure it out for yourself, you can simply just go when it's reset and then just add the 4 hours, and that's when the event should hopefully launch. Also check the maintenance tab as well if you want to also see when the specific times are. Man, I've been thinking for a while that I think it'd be a really funny idea to do like a really short video where I actually just explain when time zones are for everyone. So that it would be a video of nothing but me reading out time zones, but I also don't know how many people. I think it would be funny. I could potentially make that funny, or maybe it's just funny to me. Anyway, back to Dancing Dragon Castle. The event itself, all you need to do is clear Fuyuki, and in terms of how long it is, it should be 3 weeks long, just like it was over in JP. If that changes, I guess we'll learn, but if it's 3 weeks long, then that means that it should end sometime around the 2nd of July, which is just before Anime Expo and our anniversary, funny enough, so it'll be coming in right on time, basically. Very nice. And now let's go over some event details. So the main info here. Here's how the event schedule is looking like. On day 1, we'll get the prologue, main quest, acts 1 through 3, and then for some free quests. And then on day 6 is when we will get main quest, act 8, and the epilogue, along with the final free quest. And then on day 7 is when we get the challenge quest. And that will be when, after day 7, we'll have basically unlocked everything, and then you can just go go ahead and go free on that event. Just do what you want. The new limited servant is Azumi no Isora, which is Hibiki and Shikagi. Shikagi? Yeah, okay. For some reason, I was like looking at this name trying to see, like, I'm saying it right? Hopefully. New costume dress for Kiyohime, which is going to be called Kiyohime the Otohime. And then we'll go over here because we'll explain the event mechanics. So we acquire the Jima sweet points to unlock new main quest, get event items, sweet ingredients, and the gemma. I think it's the gemma. De gemma. Again, shift focus. Moving on. The gemma. Sweet points by clearing free quests, get additional Degema sweet points and materials through sweet trades by using sweets ingredients. Sweets highlighted in pink are featured sweets for the day, and their order will finish faster. Sweets highlighted in aqua will be featured sweets for tomorrow. Featured sweets reset every day at, this is when it was on JST, was for JST, but I assume for us it will be the regular PDT time that we always have for when day roll happens is when the reset will happen. You can make additional orders of sweets currently in progress or withdraw to cancel the order. Sweets ingredients will be refunded if any order is canceled. And then increase your trade rank by progressing through the main quest to increase the amount of trade slots and unlock new sweets for ordering. Earn rewards by obtaining the Dejima Sweets points and exchanging the event currencies for Ryugu Pearl, Stardust Candy, and rainbow-colored sea cucumbers in shop. Equipping Mr. Red Gadget increases the Southern Sugar, Journey Powder, and Tropical Butter and Dejima Sweets points point drop. Dejima Sweets point drops. I keep wanting to say Dejima Sweets points drops, but that is not what it is at all. Someday we can cross through the River of Stars, increase Ryugu Pearl drops. Ryugu Pearl drops. Again, apologies for this. Undersea Banquet increases Stardust Candy drops, and then Arrival of the Large Beast increases rainbow-colored sea cucumber drops. For the event bonuses, we got Azumi no Isora with 100% damage bonus and 50% bond bonus. We got Sei Shonagon, Wavering Kiyohime with 50% damage bonus and 20% to bond. And then Suzuka goes in, Archer, Kid Da Vinci, Murasaki Shikabu, Big Da Vinci, Thomas Edison, Gray, Lacosta, Sakata Kintoki, and Tamamo Cat have 30% damage and 20% bond. And of course, Smash will have 30% damage bonus and 5% bond to the party. Over to event cards, we have the event CE, which is Mr. Red Gadget. This ignores defense, increases arts performance by 4%, increases buster performance by 4%, and then start the battle with 30% NP gauge. And then this also has the drops for Southern Sugar, the Journey Powder, and the Tropical Butter, along with the Dejima Sweet points. For the event command codes, we have Savage Dog of Ulster. Ignores evasion when attacking with the engraved card, then increases crit damage by 15% of the engraved card. Large Bone Blade Wafting in Ghastly Air inflicts burn of 500 for 3 turns to enemy when attacking with the engraved card, increases crit damage by 10% of the engraved card. And then Mr. Smartphone, it reminds me of the Rotom phone from Pokemon. Increases NP gain by 3% when attacking with the engraved card, and then increases star gain by 20% when attacking with the engraved card. And then we'll move over to the login campaign, which of course there will be 21 apples, with 18 of them being silver apples and 3 golden ones. On day 1 is a golden apple, on day 8 is a golden apple, on day 15 is a golden apple. And then for game updates, we have a strengthening quest coming for Kiyohime. That's right. She will be increasing her stocking. Her stocking will go from stocking to super positive stalker. A crazy stocking bonus. It's basically free St. Quartz, and if you love Kiyohime, it's a buff to your girl. What's not to love about that? Inside the event shop, we have... So the way the breaks down is that the gold material is the Ryugu Pearls, the silver drops are the Stardust Candy, and the bronze drops are the rainbow-colored sea cucumbers. For the Ryugu Pearl, we need a total of 4,330 of them to clear everything in this specific event shop. And then the things you can get from said shop is the costume dress for Kiyohime, the Otohime, 2 event CE, 1 lore, 1 HP and attack golden foe, 40 stacks of 10 evocation leaves, so that means buying 1 gives you 10 leaves for a total of 400. 1 code remover, 10 Genesis eggs, 10 comet shards, 20 black talos, 30 bones, 20 golden statues for Archer, Caster, and Berserker. And then once you have everything, you can trade them for a QP. Every 2 of them gets you 10k QP. Then we'll move on to Stardust Candy, the silver drop, which you'll need 3,730 of them to get everything in the shop. And then with them, you can get 1 event CE, 1 lore, 1 attack golden foe, 30 sacks of 10 evocation leaves, 1 code remover, 20 primordial lanugo. I always called the Langua, but now I don't know actually how to pronounce that. Just add it to the list of things I have trouble pronouncing. 20 snake jewels, 20 rainbow yarn, 20 ether photon convergers, 20 silver statues for Archer, Caster, and Berserker. And then once you're all done here, you can exchange them for Ryugu Pearls, which every 10 gives you 1. Very nice. And then we go over to the rainbow colored sea cucumbers, which are the bronze dropped. You'll need 4,280 of them to get everything here. Really weird odd numbers at the end of these, as I now just read. This one ends with usually they're cleaner than this, but for this one, for some reason, it was like 80, 30, 20, yeah, whatever. Anyway, continuing on. 1 event CE, 1 HP golden foe, 30 stacks of 10 evocation leaves, 1 code remover, 20 HP and attack silver foes, 55 EXP, 104 EXP, 103 EXP, just making sure I don't say 55 EXP, 104 EXP, and 103 EXP. Don't want to be too confusing, but I'm sure most people understand what I'm saying. 20 permafrost ice crystals, 20 sun scales, 30 dragon fang, 30 void ash, and then once you're done here, you can start trading in your candy start trading in your candy. It's not candy, it's cucumbers. Trade in your cucumbers for candy. Every 10 gives you 1. And then once, I assume this unlocks right as soon as the event ends, because there's no reason to be doing this in the middle of the event. Which you will get there when we get to Sweets Trade. But you can exchange these products here, which is the Southern Sugar, the Journey Powder, and the Tropical Butter. You can exchange them for QP. 50 at a time, though. So this definitely smells of like, okay, once you can no longer have access to the Sweets Trade, that's when you exchange them in for some QP and stuff. And speaking of the Sweets Trade, this is kind of how we go down. We'll be making these parfaits. All of them have different kind of requirement items, and then each of them have durations. These actually last 4 real ass hours or 6 real ass hours. So make sure you're actually following along, getting your rank up, and then also clicking the ones that have a bonus for the day. Now, the other thing they have is that all of these have rewards, and obviously the rewards are always the Dejema Sweet Points, which is really nice. But the other thing that comes with is material. So to talk about the specific materials, I'll just quickly list off which one of these parfaits drops which material. That will make it easier for it, because a lot of these other infos will likely all be there, but it's good to know this as well. Anyway, strawberry, magical cerebral spinal fluid, melon drops Mudra seeds, chocolate gives chains, milkshake gives phoenix feathers, Castella, which I've never had a Castella parfait, lamp of demon ceiling, Ramoon, I've never had a Ramoon parfait, gives you scarab of wisdom, macaron, scales of fantasy, oni does not sound like any kind of taste I've ever had, but that's a parfait. That gives you steaks. How do you make an exciting parfait? What is inside of an exciting parfait game? I need to actually know what besides the butter and 15 of all these, what the fuck is inside an exciting parfait? Anyway, these will give you forbidden pages. Hinamis? Now they're just kind of fucking with me. Tiny Bell of Amnesty. If you had any of these, let me know, because I'm actually kind of curious how these would taste. Egg pudding, I understand that. Tsukumo mirror, and then pancake parfait, Heart of the Foreign God. Now they're back. They got me back at the end. I'll have a pancake parfait and a Heart of a Foreign God as well. Inside we have the points rewards. There's 3 summon tickets in total in the points rewards. You get one at 150k, one at 600k, and 1.3 million. As you can see, 1.3 million right here, 150k and 600k. To get everything inside the points rewards, you're gonna need a total of 1.5 million, and you'll get a whole load of nice stuff along with it. Also, another one of the event C's as well is in here, along with the command codes. Over in the main quest. So over in the main quest, there are a total of 8 acts, a prologue, and an epilogue, which gives us a total of 7 Saint Quartz. And you're probably thinking, how do we have 7 Saint Quartz when there's 8 acts? The reason is that Act 3 doesn't give us Saint Quartz. It just unlocks the Sweets Trade. So that's how we end up going there. I won't show the full look at the main quest just because I also want to be kind of surprised to see what happens in the story itself, so no spoilers there, even though I just literally showed you Act 3. But that's because I needed to confirm there that there was no Saint Quartz there. If there's anything I think that's worth slightly spoiling it on, is knowing that Act 3 won't give you a Saint Quartz, or the prologue won't give you nothing. I think that's fun. Free quests. Now for the free quests, I'll mainly be focusing on the final one, which is the 90++ one, but I'll leave a link in the description below if you want to check these out yourself. I know it's a little, I always feel a little bit bad about it, because I know 90++ is usually the hardest one, and therefore not even though it is typically the best place to farm, not everyone can do it. In order for the video to not be like over an hour long, I think I probably have to do it this way, though it's gonna be funny if I finish this video and it ends up not being all that long in the grand scheme of things. Anyway, continuing on, we'll go over look at 90 plus plus. I have another reason why I usually only focus on 90 plus plus as well, and I'll explain it after we get done looking at it. So this free quest is called the Personal Trades Depository. It has on battle 1 is a big old rider boss. On turn 2 it's 2 riders, and then on turn 3 it's 2 riders and a big old boy foreigner, because this is Voyager, the Prince of Competo. I don't know about that one. Again, apologies. This is the problem with trying to learn Japanese and trying to fix myself on I was hoping that it would make me better at saying Japanese names. All it's done is make me pause everything to make sure that I'm getting it right. But anyway, continue on. Voyager will be the big boss here, and he'll have over 700,000 HP. Jesus Christ, this is a big ass boy. In terms of the drops, we have Demonic Flame Hozuki, the Obsidian Edge, blue, red, gold Rider Gems, and then also golden statues for Rider, Caster, Assassin, and Berserker. And then, of course, every drop is included because they always are on the 90 plus plus ones. So there'll be some the Gemma Suite points along with the other event material drops as well. So the thing to note about this one, I remember someone telling me, hey, make sure to have an alter ego prepared for this one because you're going to need one. And yeah, that final boss being a big old foreigner means that Berserkers are going to have a real tough time on this one. So you can't, if I was ever planning on using a Berserker, I can't really use that. So I have to probably look. I do have an alter ego that can hit the damage threshold here. It's actually making sure I can get to the other damage thresholds before that, actually. And trying to make sure I can get those down is probably the way I'm going to do it. Basically, in my head, I'm like, can I use Super Bunyan for this? The answer is, I think maybe I can, but I have to really finagle around and kind of figure it out. So that'll give me a little bit more time to kind of think about it. But that's my current MO. I would probably try and see if I could use some kind of combination of Tiamat and Bunyan for this one. I don't know if it would be possible. Bunyan takes care of the first battle, and then Tiamat can take care of the second one, and then kind of hope that Tiamat is able to get her MP back in time to be able to use the other ones. I don't know, that's a little bit tough. I'll think about it a little bit more. I'll come up with a team, and then I'll have a grind and talk where I'll talk about all the various movies I've been watching and a bunch of other stuff happening, and talk about my team there as well. Another thing to take note of, which is another reason why I kind of start focusing in on the 90 plus plus more than I usually do, they've started giving NA exclusive banners that are focused in on these specific to help us with the extra free quests at the bottom here. Usually the last two. Which one it's going to be is kind of very hard to determine. I thought it was usually going to be some really big reruns, because they had done some really banger reruns previously that was like, holy shit, I would never imagined you doing a rerun here. And then for the last event, I was really expecting them to... I was waiting to see what unit it was going to end up being, thinking it was like, oh, maybe it's Tez because it's Assassin. And then they did Vlad. There's like a Vlad and Camilla banner. Which I got no problem with them, but it was definitely like, oh, okay, so I guess it really, there's no predicting them. What I'm trying to say here is there's no way to predict them, but let's throw out a random guess. Maybe if you want to give out a random guess about which one you think is likely to be it, if you end up getting it right, I don't know, maybe I'll release a video saying, hey, congratulations, they got it right. I'm thinking it has to still be an alter ego. If I was gonna do an AoE alter ego, because they usually do a 4 and a 5, I think it would make sense to do a Melt and Passion Lip. And if not specifically Melt, then maybe Kiara as like the main go-to AoE, and then a single target alter ego of some kind. Or maybe not even alter ego. They could just say when it's like a rider of some kind. Who knows? But that's my guess. I'm gonna go with Melt and Lip. Those are going to be my ones for that. Let's see if it ends up being true. Who knows? Maybe they're going to throw out something I just can't, in any good conscience, figure out how the fuck they would have gotten to that conclusion. But anyway, moving on. Challenge quest. To get the challenge quest, you have to have cleared Solomon and then also all the main quests to unlock them. And then, of course, wait for the final day. I won't be looking at the specific breakdown of the challenge quest, usually because I like to be blind and go into them blind so I can hopefully do a video with my brother. Doesn't always happen. But I'm trying to be a little bit better at that one. I'm going to be on top of this event because I have to be, because I do not want to be grinding this event at the end, and then also preparing the GSSR videos that I need to release and the anniversary videos that I need to release and all the other fucking buttload of videos that I need to release at that time. So I'll be keeping on track with this event pretty hardcore, and hopefully I'll get to do the challenge quest there. And then we'll move on to the summoning campaign. So we've made it all the way to the summoning campaigns. Yay! So banner 1, which will be here when the event drops, will feature Azumi no Isora, or Hibiki and Shikagi. They are the 5-star alter ego. And then on their banner is also Kiyohime Lancer and Kiyohime Berserker. The rate of craft essences are Someday We Can Cross Through the River of Stars. It's the 5-star. It has quick 6%, buster 6%, crit damage 10%, and critical star 3 plus 3 a turn. And then this will also drop the Ryugu pearls. I keep really wanting to say Ryuga, which is not correct. It's Ryugu. Ryugu. Undersea Banquet is the 4-star CE. It gives NP gain plus 3% a turn, NP rate 5%, and crit damage 5%, and then this helps drops Stardust Candy. And then we have Arrival of the Large Beast. Look at this dapper ass man. Kiryu Cosma looking good. Kiryu Elephant Cosma looking fantastic in this fucking getup. Hold up, I need to get a... Can I get a close-up fit check on this? This is insane. Lakshmi also looks really good. This also looks great. This is a fucking amazing outfit. Anyway, this C is a 3-star C, so everyone can get it. Buster 3%, critical damage 3%, NP damage 3%. This also helps out with the cucumber drops, the rainbow-colored C cucumber drops. And then for the other banners, we have Summoning Campaign 2, which features Waver, Kiyohime Lancer, and Kiyohime, and then also, of course, the other Rate of Craft Essences. And then on Summoning Campaign 3, we have Sei Shonagon, and of course, again, Kiyohime Lancer and Kiyohime Berserker. They're really throwing you an easy, it's okay to not summon banners at you as we get ready really close to anniversary. And yeah, so those are the banners. And of course, there's the mystery banner that nobody knows what it's going to be, and I threw my guesses at what it could potentially be. Now we're going to go ahead and start looking at the units themselves. I am not going to take a deep look at Kiyohime because she's a 3-star servant. Anyone can get Kiyohime. She comes free with your Xbox. But I will talk about Kiyohime Lancer and Azumi no Isora. So we'll start with Kiyohime Lancer, or Summer Kiyohime, however you like to pronounce her. She is a limited servant. She's a Lancer. As such, her name, Kiyohime Lancer, kind of comes from. She has 2 quicks, 1 arts, 2 buster, 2 hits on quick, 2 hits on arts, 6 hits buster, and 5 hits on extra. For skills, we have her first skill, which is Blazing Summer and Passion A+, which upgrades after Strengthening 1. We already have this in game. Blazing Summer Passion A+, reduces all enemies' critical attack chance for 3 turns, inflicts burn for 5 turns to them, charges on NP gauge by 20%, grants self a debuff on attack buff for 3 turns, inflicts spread of fire status for 5 turns to enemy when attacking, and then increases burn damage by 50%, 30% to the crit chance, and lowering of the crit chance, that is. And then the burn damage is 1,000 on cooldown of 5. And then we have Bathing Transformation A, increases own buster performance for 3 turns, 30% for 3 turns on a cooldown of 5. Her third skill is Pursuer of Love A, 500% chance to reduce one enemy's defense for 3 turns, and then increases their attack by 20% for 3 turns. That's a demerit. Yo, fuck, I forgot she did that. 30% to defense on the cooldown of 5. Her 2 passive skills are Madness Enhancement EX, Magic Resistance D. Her third skill is an anti-berserker attack damage aptitude, because trust no one, not even yourself. And then we have her Noble Phantasm, which is the Dojo Joji Kane Hyaku Hachi Shiki Karyu Nagi, the Dojoji Bell Method 108 Fire Dragon Mower. Mower? Yeah, I guess mower, sure. Yakuhachi Shiki. Okay. Again, sorry. Rank A, anti-unit, Noble Phantasm. It's a buster type. It hits 6 times. It deals damage to one enemy, 150% chance to steal their skills for 1 turn. MP level, at MP level 1, it's 600%. At MP level 5, it's 1000, and then inflict burn for 5 turns to them. At charge level 1, it's 500 burn damage plus, and if you get it all the way to the final charge level, it's 2500. And then their bond CE is the Beach Love Letter Terror. When equipped to Kiyohime Lancer, increases party's buster performance by 20%, and then a 500% chance to reduce the party's defense by 10%. That's a demerit while self is on the field. And that is Summer Kiyohime, aka Kiyohime Lancer. How is she? There's no easy way of saying this. She's not very good. She's a very old unit though. It's not her fault. She was designed in like summer year 1. That's why she has such weird skills. Like this fucking giving your opponent 20% attack. I guess they were afraid of a unit that could get 30% buster for 3 turns, which I guess back then was an insane thing to just kind of give yourself, which is another reason why this just gives 30% buster and then fucking nothing else. This one skill of hers that got buffed, if you want to see what it was like before it got buffed, this is all it was. So that buff did help her, but she really needs a lot more buffs. She definitely needs a lot more buffs. There's kind of the way, there's no easy way about it. The chance to seal their skills is perfectly fine, but trust me, there's plenty of units that can do the same and give you more bang for your buck than Kiyohime Lancer. The one thing that she'll always have above certain other units though is that she does look really cute in the swimsuit. Like, this is a nice look. I've always liked the look of this. Very, very cute, very nice. Nothing wrong with that. And again, another thing I always like to say is that if you're a fan of a summer unit, if you can find a way to justify it to yourself to get them for it because it's your favorite servant, go ahead. Don't let me say like, oh, they're bad. Say like, oh, no, that means I can never get them. Thankfully, FGO is a game in which even the worst servants can be built up to such a degree that they can take down some of the hardest content. So if you really, really love Summer Kiyohime, you can find ways to use her and actually beat her, use her to beat really tough battles. It's just how dedicated to them are you? And if you're asking for a larger sense, it's not the greatest unit in the world, but again, really cute. And then she does also offer, her strengthening also does give you some Saint Quartz, which is nice. That's always nice. Anyway, that's Summer Kiyohime. Let's move on, and we'll go to Azumi no Isora. Azumi no Isora. She is also a limited servant. Alter ego. She has, oh god, a couple different stage breakdowns here. 2 quick, 1 arts, 2 buster, 3 hits on quick, 4 hits on arts, 3 hits on buster, 5 hits on extra. Her active skills are Isora Dance A, increases party's quick performance, buster performance, and MP generation rate for 3 turns, then also grants self-evasion for 2 attacks, 3 turns. 20% to quick, 20% to buster, 20% to NP rate, and this is on a cooldown of 6. Her second skill is the Gate of Wadatsumi, which is rank A, charges on NP gauge, charges party's NP gauge, increases the party's max HP for 3 turns, 30% to NP, 20% to the party NP, 3,000 to max HP plus, and this is on a cooldown of 7. Her third skill is the Tide Flower Jewel, Tide Ebbing Jewel A, increases party's NP damage for 3 turns, grant self a debuff on attack buff for 3 turns, for 3 times over 3 turns. Inflict defense down by 10% for 3 turns to the enemy when attacking with quick cards. Activates first. Grant self a buff on attack buff for 3 times 3 turns. Increases own critical damage by 10% for 3 turns when attacking with buster cards. This activates first. And then a 500% chance to grant self the Waterside Battlefield buff for 3 turns. NP damage is 20% at skill level 10, and this is on a cooldown of 6. Her passive skills are Achime no Waza EX. Increases own buff removal resistance by 10%, increases own debuff resistance by 10%. Independent action B, Playground of the Gods A, which is the increased party's critical damage by 5% while self is on the field. Strange Looking God B, increases the own damage by 100, and then reduces own damage taken by 300. And then Protection of the Great Crocodile C, gain 5 crit stars every turn on the Waterside Battlefield, and it charges own NP gauge by 5% every turn on the Waterside Battlefield. Third skill is the Anti-Moon Cancer Attack Damage Aptitude, and her Noble Phantasm is the Unosaka Hiraku Michihiki no Tama. I said that as best as I could. Tide jewels that open the boundary towards the realm of the Sea God. Rank A, Anti-Army. Hits 8 times, it's quick, it increases on MP generation rate by 20% when on the Waterside Battlefield for 1 turn, activates first, removes all enemy defensive buffs, activates first, deals damage to them, and then deal 150% extra damage against enemies with the chaotic alignment. And then at MP level 1 it's 600%, and MP level 5 it's 1000. Overcharge effects is increased own quick performance for 1 turn, activates first, and the same goes for Buster. So charge level 1 is 10%, and same goes for Buster. And if you get them all the way to the final charge level, it's 30% for both. And then their bond CE is the matching aprons. When attached to Azumi no Isora, increases party's quick performance by 8%, increases party's Buster performance by 8%, and then increases party's MP generation rate by 10% while self is on the field. Another thing that guess I kind of to take note of here is that the stage 3 has some different traits that you can potentially take advantage of if you want to use them for different kind of teams, or if you're looking for a very specific type of unit as well. Something that kind of neat to take note of if you're ever into doing something like that. Like if you ever need a beautiful boy, you're gonna have to put them in their stage 3. It doesn't work for their stage 1 through 2. And that is Azumi no Isora. So how do I feel about them? They're really good. As far as I can tell, they're really, really good. They're able to give themselves the waterside battlefield, which is huge, because if they did not have the waterside battlefield, a lot of the stronger stuff that they have, or kind of the more neat stuff that they have, wouldn't be able to be activated at all, and that would really hurt them. But because you can activate it on your 3rd skill, you use that, and you're going to be able to have your passive skills activated right here with Protection of the Great Crocodile. You're also going to be able to activate your Noble Phantasm's 20% to MP generation rate, which is really key for a lot of quick units. Hitting 8 times is also really nice for quick units. The more hits, the better, especially if you can get them to kill them quickly with the first hit, and then all the additional hits of NP gain that you can get from there is always going to be a big benefit for quick. Something that is both good and kind of like you know, could have been a little bit better is the dealing 150% extra damage is a straight 150%. It's not tied to the overcharge, which means it can't Ugh, I need some water. It can't go higher than 150%, but still, if you're fighting against the chaotic alignment, that can come in pretty handy. And yeah, for the most part, they can charge their own NP gauge. They charge the party's NP gauge. They can give party buffs as well as buffing themselves, buffing their own NP damage, buffing the party's NP damage, increasing the party's quick and Buster performance. They work really well with Summer Scotty because they have both quick and Buster, and they also really want to use quick and Buster. Overall, I think that this is a really good unit. The only thing that's really negative I could say about them is, other than the 150%, some more negatives I can give, is that they are a quick unit, and there's just some people in this game that do not want to use quick units because the return on investment is too high for them. It requires too much investment to get the most out of them, which I understand. It's something that I never have a real issue with because I like quick, but I always have to mention it because I've seen over the years a lot of people who just do not want to deal with quick, do not want to deal with like buffing up the unit that requires it, and it's a lot of return, and sometimes you're not even able to loop in some cases with a quick unit. Though I think with this one it should be probably pretty good, but if you have a little bit more hands-on experience with them, let me know. It actually would be very nice to know. I don't see a lot of people talking about them, so any kind of additional things to learn about is nice. Oh, another thing that also changes is that their alignment goes from lawful good to neutral balance when they go to stage 3. Okay, that's cool. And then the other negative is that they're an alter ego. So I know that this one's a really weird a negative to have, but this is another thing that I've seen a decent amount of people say, which is, why would I ever use an alter ego when I can just use a unit that has the specific buff? Like, obviously, for example, we can look at this event right here. We can go over to the free quest that they would like you to use them in, which is all the way at the bottom. If I'm going to be fighting against a Rider, they're going to have advantage against Rider, but what's to stop them over using an assassin of some kind? And that's usually the trouble with a lot of alter egos, that people tend to typically like not actually want to use them for their intended uses, I guess. The other thing that's funny is that usually this is a rare case where it's not a problem. But let's say if you were fighting this fight and you're like, okay, great, alter ego, Rider, but instead of a foreigner here at the end, it was a Saber. it completely kills them. They can no longer do anything because the way that their kind of weaknesses and buffs work is that they're really good against the not against the extra classes, but against casters, riders, and assassins. But they're really bad against sabers, archers, and lancers. So if you're ever in a weird node where you fight a saber and a rider, it means that they're going to be super effective against one of them, but not against the other one. And for that specific reason alone, then you would go like, okay, well, I'm just going to use a berserker then, and they're going to be able to handle both of them. But again, for this specific event, it is nice to have an alter ego, because you can see here, if you were trying to say like, well, I'll just use a berserker, you can't on this one. This is one where you definitely would like to use an alter ego for it. If you were going to use one. So yeah, that's kind of the final breakdown of them. I think they're really good. I think they're pretty solid. I'm not gonna be actually going for them because we're too close to anniversary, and that's actually the bigger deterrent against them. Is that we're too close to anniversary, and I also kind of already have a decent number of alter egos that I need to use more of. I don't use as much as I do. As much as I like using alter egos and stuff, I actually don't use them all that much outside of Super Bunyan. I need to kind of change that a little bit. The bigger problem is that I keep getting new ones, and that means my older ones don't get to see as much play. So yeah, I'm gonna end up skipping on this one, but if you end up summoning, I wish you the best of luck. They do seem really really good. They seem really cool. I like a lot of the little gimmicks that they got going on around them. Really cool. And that's how I feel. If you feel differently, feel free to tell me how you feel about any of the units below. I am not what's the word I'm looking for? Omnipotent? I'm not always right, is what I'll say. I always like to hear what other people have to say. The most famous example that I always have is that Constantinos, when he released, I thought that he was like a really good defensive unit, and then I learned later on that everyone thought that he was like one of the worst units in the entire game. Though eventually they gave him a buff, and that kind of made him have a little more of a shine to his Noble Phantasm, which made me feel a little bit better about that. It's always good to hear what other people have to say about a unit, because, you know, it helps me understand them a little bit more. It also helps me help people later down the road, especially if they have hands-on experience with the unit, which I don't have most of the time because I play exclusively on the NA side of the game and not on JP. And now we reach the end of the video, everyone. Thank you very much for watching all the way at the end. If you made it all the way at the end, it means that you were able to make it through me trying to say a bunch of Japanese words. Again, big apologies on that one. Learning Japanese, trying to get these names right. Not the best time when I'm trying to give information to say that, but you know, I'm showing the process. Like I said, you have to show the growth. Eventually we're going to get to the point where I'm not going to have any issues with any of these Japanese words, and then you're going to look back and say like, man, remember when he stumbled over his words? I hope you're still watching me by the time that happens. But anyway, I hope you've been having a good time. It's been a while since I did a video, just because I've been very busy with work, and then some other kind of life stuff happened that we had to make sure to take care of, which we're working on that still. But I'm glad to be able to record some more videos. I am still going to be very busy with work, but because of the crazy month we have, I still have to push out these videos, which I'm going to keep on doing. And I thank you very much for watching. At least most recently, there was really cool bunch of video game news. I was excited for that. I was like, holy shit, video games. I love video games. So many to play, so little time, and I also still have to catch up with Fate Grand Order. Still need to do that story. Anyway, I've talked long enough. The adventure is over, everyone. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Till next time, bye-bye, peace out, and see you later. That's a Chie reference from Persona 4. Original voice, bring back original Chie, give me a sheesh.
Sheesh.